When we announced in social media that Ternium's president was going to be at our TCI Global Conference, we saw proud reactions from our members in Nuevo León, in Mexico, celebrating his contribution to our program. When you see the following interview, you will understand why. Ternium, one of the largest steel manufacturing corporations in Latin America, has been putting in place a number of shared value initiatives where their community is highly involved. And in times of COVID-19, they quickly reacted and did a big investment to build a community hospital and to give support in different ways to the local health system. Marco Llinás will introduce us to this story that we have pre-recorded, and we will go through a conversation with their protagonists. Enjoy the interview.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for this session of the TCI2020 Global Conference, where we're going to address the topic, driving a new, better normal. My name is Marco Llinás from Colombia, and I'm a TCI board member. Joining me today are César Jiménez and Rodrigo Piña. César is here with a double role. First of all, as executive president of Ternium Mexico. Ternium is one of the most important steel companies in the world. But second of all, he's here today as the president of Nuevo León's automotive cluster, the famous Cloud, in Monterrey, Mexico. Whereas Rodrigo is the human resources director at Ternium, where he was in charge of a very interesting initiative that exemplifies today's topic of a new, better normal. He was in charge of a project to build a hospital to address the COVID pandemic. So let me start with Rodrigo by asking him, what was this initiative about? What drives Ternium to the building of a hospital of crisis? How did this idea come up?
Thank you, Marcos. To tell you the truth, the construction of this hospital was something that really moved us for the impact and the reception that it has from the community, but also from our people. It's something that makes us all really proud of. And back to the question, the specific question. The reason is that in Ternium, we believe that in order to have a sustainable growth, we must do it along with our communities. In this matter, Ternium is committed to promote our community's growth and well-being based in 4 pillars: education, health, sports, and culture and arts. And in general, the health approach promotes initiatives to increase the quality of life of our employees, but also the families and the near community. And particularly during the COVID pandemic, we identified several needs in our surroundings that lead us to invest $5.5 million in order to solve it. Specifically, $3.3 million were destined to invest in Mexico in order to improve the healthcare infrastructure. And doing so, we invest 1.3 million in building and operating our own community hospital in order to help our community. That was a really good decision, I would say, because it helps to contain and to help the people who is really close to us. And the other $2 million were also invested in order to improve the infrastructure of the surrounding hospitals already in place. Basically, in mechanical ventilators, hospital beds, and another biohazard kits in order to save the doctors.
Thank you very much, Rodrigo. That was very interesting. Now let me turn to and ask him what other initiatives have Ternium put in place in order to generate value for the community and promote a more sustainable environment. I would like to know also, Cesar, how do you communicate these initiatives to the general public?
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Patricia, and the rest of the organizing committee for inviting Ternium to share our story. As Rodrigo mentioned in the previous question, being close to the communities where we operate is paramount for us because we have a long-term commitment to Mexico, and because we believe that this is the best way to improve the future of many people around us. All the initiatives that we promote are based on the values that we have as a company, which are passion for doing the right thing, excellence and continuous improvement, cooperation, innovation, integrity, and respect. Talking about the different community-related actions, as Rodrigo also pointed out, we group those in several areas. The first one is education. Education program from Ternium cover the whole school year, and also from elementary school to graduate and postgraduate levels, helping children and young people to reach their potential so they can become active members of society. Some examples of the action that we do are the Roberto Roca Technical School, which is a high school level, that I will talk a little bit more later about it. A program called the Technical School Gene to promote the engineering passion in young students. The after-school programs, when we teach math and Spanish signatures, and this is at elementary school and junior high. The Roberto Roca Achievement Award, which is basically a scholarship that we provide for high school level students, and also the Roberto Roca Education Program, also a scholarship for college level students. If we talk about health and sports, we have our own medical facilities here in Monterrey and also in other communities where we operate. For example, when we have iron ore mines, we promote and sponsor health fairs. And also, every year we sponsor a 10-kilometer race where thousands of people join us to keep their health in a good level by promoting exercise. If we talk about culture, and this is another very important topic for us, we try to contribute to promote and keep safe the different communities, entities, honoring their heritage and tradition, with initiatives such as the Latin American Film Festival, when we display movies in all the communities where we operate, or famous Latin American directors that shows the different cultures and the values of each of the regions where we operate. And we also have another initiative that we call the Photo Library, when we restore and share the photos of the origins of our towns or our industries to keep the memories for the future generations. And finally, in the social integration initiatives, we have volunteering programs where our employees, and also sometimes I go myself to those, become involved in activities to improve and strengthen the social structure of our communities, such as helping to rebuild schools, cleaning parks, among others.
Wow, Cesar, that's a very impressive list of things that you're doing down there in Nuevo León. Now, let me ask you a question as the automotive cluster president. What role do you think clusters should play to help companies be ready for a new, better normal, one that is more inclusive, more sustainable, and generates more value for everyone?
Wow, Marco, that's very interesting questions. I will say that the most important role that a cluster must have is to maintain all our members united, informed, excited, proud to be part of our cluster, and satisfied with the benefits they get from it, and continue helping them to become better companies. I can share some examples with you. For example, when the pandemics came, we instituted a regular meeting. At the beginning, it was a weekly meeting, and then was every other week meeting. And in this meeting, we share information about the situation in our country, in our state, in our companies, and also we share the actions that we were doing in order to fight against this virus, and sharing the best practices, and that help us to become more and more united. Also, we maintain all the knowledge sharing programs that we have. One of the best benefits of being part of our automotive cluster, but now in a virtual environment, because with the COVID, we didn't do it in a personal basis as we did before. And finally, we continue to sponsor events to talk with some experts about sustainability, energy, use of new technologies, industrial automation, and improve practices with regarding logistics or operation or new trends. These and other actions are done in what we call the triple propel model, when companies, education institutions, and also the government work together to achieve a better ecosystems, where all of us benefits and contribute to build a better state, a better country, and a better future for us and for the next generations to come.
So just to wrap up, as we've seen, the idea of achieving a new, better normal, instead of just going back to where we were, aims at using this crisis as a catalyst to achieve a more sustainable future. By now, it should be clear that a more sustainable future is not just the responsibility of governments, but the responsibility of every one of us, of every member of society, including the private sector. In order to address this responsibility, adopting and interiorizing Professors Porter and Kramer's concept of creating shared value can be very useful. As I like to put it, there are great business opportunities in sustainability. In this task, cluster initiatives can be of great help, in particular, as we saw today, in bringing together different companies and actors from the cluster to work on projects and initiatives that are not only good business for the companies, but that also improve environment and social conditions. Thank you very much, Cesar and Rodrigo, for your great participation in this panel, and thank you all for your attention. Keep on enjoying this TCI Global Conference. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Pleasure.